The government is keeping tabs on everyone. But what about the laws and regulations that prevent bad actors from getting their hands on that data even when these records are released to the public? In this video, we're going to learn what exactly the Privacy Act of 1974 applies to and what that means for your redaction workflow. But first, we're going to cover what the Act actually is and why it was created. In the wake of the Watergate scandal, public outrage led to the exposure of illegal government spying practices and the massive surveillance files that they kept on civilians they deemed as political threats. And furthermore, lawmakers feared the rapid shift toward computerized record keeping and the widespread use of Social Security numbers as universal tracking identifiers, so Congress wanted to give citizens the legal right to see, copy, and correct errors in government files while simultaneously restricting how agencies handled that data. According to the Office of Privacy and Civil Liberties, the Privacy Act of 1974 establishes a code of fair information practices that governs the collection, maintenance, use, and the dissemination of information about individuals that's maintained in a series of records by federal agencies. It requires that the agencies give public notices of their systems. The law bans federal agencies from sharing your personal files without your written permission, but includes 12 specific exemptions, including routine law enforcement uses and health requests. If this is helping you understand the foundation of our modern privacy laws, then subscribe to the channel and please like the video for more. So who and what is protected under this act? The actual information that is protected under the Act includes direct identifiers, including names, social security numbers, dates of birth, or driver's license numbers, as well as personal background information such as education or medical history, and then along with biometric identifiers as well, like finger or voice prints. And the government can identify you and pull your records based on this information, since they do keep that indexed, but they cannot disclose that information to just anyone without consent. And these System of Records notices are published in the Federal Register. One of the most important aspects of the Privacy Act is the restriction of personal information sharing between the government agencies. Sharing an individual's records with other organizations or agencies is blocked unless there is a written agreement between the two. And even that undergoes a very lengthy review process. In general, the Privacy Act limits the amount of data the federal government can collect on you, and they can only collect personal data that is relevant and necessary. And this includes information that you give them when you're filing for tax returns, passports, driver's licenses, and the like. And it keeps things neat to know, but it also ensures that citizens maintain their right to privacy. But when do people not have a right to privacy? Or what are the exceptions of the Privacy Act of 1974? To keep this video brief, we're not going to go over every single one, but we can break them down into about 4 categories. The first is going to be internal in nature, and this supports routine operations. These exceptions apply to the government employees that maintain the records or need them to reference in order to do their duties. The second is going to be for public transparency and outreach. And this involves information disclosed under FOIA, which should be redacted of all PII anyways if they're doing it right. It also includes the census, statistical research that is not really identifiable, as well as natural archives for historical evaluation. The third category is for use by law enforcement and emergencies. And this includes cases where law enforcement needs to write to the agency that's housing the records. It's going to ask them to disclose the information that is pertinent to their investigations. And it also is including health and safety circumstances that affect the well-being of others. And this includes written notification being sent to the subject's last known address to get that consent. The fourth and final category is government oversight and finances. And this is going to be talking about the disclosure of the information to either Congress or a congressional committee or subcommittee that the subject matter pertains to. Exceptions also apply to the Government Accountability Office while they're doing their duties, as well as disclosing information to the consumer reporting agencies only in regards to debt collection in line with the federal debt collection statutes. So the records staff that has to stay compliant with these guidelines risk all kinds of punishment. And it takes a lot to know exactly what the Privacy Act of 1974 applies to, on top of the burden of making sure that every single instance of PII is redacted from the official releases. And that's where CaseGuard comes in. As the go-to AI-powered redaction solution for agencies of all sizes, CaseGuard finds and redacts 33 categories of PII, including names, phone numbers, addresses, dates and times, and social security numbers from PDFs, spreadsheets, and more, as well as transcript-based redaction for audio files and video with audio. In body-worn camera or CCTV footage, CaseGuard can automatically detect and redact 12 categories of PII, including faces, license plates, and notepads, keeping your agency fully compliant with privacy guidelines such as the Privacy Act of 1974 in just a fraction of the time. So now you know where the Privacy Act came from, what it covers and doesn't cover, and how CaseGuard can help keep you compliant 32 times faster than manual redaction. If you want to see how your agency can stay ahead of the records requests and protect information of your citizens, then head to CaseGuard.com right now to book a free, personalized demo today. Thanks for watching. Until next time.